Welcome to another episode of Orange Country. Gina Kirschenheiter here with my main man, Shane. And this is an exciting day to me because today we have on a special guest, my best friend in the world, Tatiana.
Yay.
Hi,
love
Tat. Posi-Tati.
Posi-Tati.
That's her name.
I love, that would be such an amazing nickname to have because.
I mean, I feel very honored, but I use it well.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what
I try to
represents
practice
you.
it all the time.
She does. It's on brand, very on brand for Tot. That's why she is my Posi-Tati, because she truly is like the most positive person. Sometimes it's annoyingly positive, but I love her dearly because she really is. She's just truly a positive person.
Where does that, were you always like that when you were a kid?
I was always like that.
Yeah.
I think I was raised in a house that was a little bit negative.
Okay.
So I think
But
I
you
flipped
overcame
the other
it.
way.
Resilient.
Yeah, I never wanted, like, I don't like bad news. I want to spin it. I always want to make the best of the situation.
And you know what? That really is, that has been a real journey for me. Gina has more of that than I do. And I'm learning through the spiritual journey and the law of attraction and all the things that we always talk about that there is no purpose in finding the negative. It does absolutely nothing to change the situation.
Yep.
The worry changes nothing.
Right.
Whatever's in process or whatever's going to happen, you worrying about it or hurting yourself about it, meaning, internally, because I'm a worrier. So I love when somebody says I'm optimistic. I see the bright side. I really am drawn to that. My husband's very much that way. And it does annoy the living shit out of me when it's on him.
Right.
Because I'm just like, what is so good about this?
Well, and when you want to just exist and live in the negative and stomp your feet a little bit and throw a fit.
It does sometimes feel like a drug.
And somebody is just like so positive and they're just like not allowing you to go there, which is really, you need those people in your life.
Absolutely.
Like Michael is that beacon for you that will not let you self-destruct or like sit
so
in
true.
that and rot in it. And for me, Tatiana is like one of those people too. I think this morning is just like a perfect example. Like even to yesterday. So I was I'll just tell you this quick story. I was out in La Quinta. I have a really, really good, pretty major opportunity in real estate. I can't quite talk about it, but I'm just going to say it's a good opportunity. So it brought me to La Quinta. I knew we had this day planned, had to get through both. It's hard when you have to figure out, I got to work, I got to be here, I got to be there, I got to be everywhere. Got home from La Quinta midnight last night. I barely gave Todd yesterday I was like, can you, do you want to come on and be our guest tomorrow? And we're always kind of like, one step behind on this, because this is very fast paced, the whole podcast world. And we're trying to make it all happen. And she's just like, of course, absolutely. And then at like 9:00, sometimes she texts me and she's just like, what time are we leaving tomorrow? I'm like, 7:30. No additional information given.
Okay,
right?
Real quick, I have to say, I want to also be best friends with you.
Aw.
Because just that alone, I can get so worked up when somebody is like over and over, like, no, what is it? How long will I be there? And how far is it?
Right.
What's it going to take us to get there? Because the truth is, if you're doing it, me telling you all of that stuff isn't going to change it. A lot of people are just planners that way.
Yeah.
But I think it's a very kind when you're just like, just tell me what time we're leaving.
Yeah.
And I'm good.
Not adding stress.
I mean,
Right.
I think it's also important to know, like, there's the piece of the puzzle where I am a planner, 100%.
She really is.
But she's my best friend, and I know she's not a planner.
And
And I always know how many things we've done together. I've never had a bad time.
That's it.
I'll be in the worst mood. We'll go to the mall, we'll shop, we'll go to Homology, where we love.
Yeah, we love Homology.
Anywhere. And I'm always in the best mood. So I know whatever we do, it's going to be great.
When you
So
have
it
a
doesn't
friend
matter.
that gives you the benefit of the doubt, when your friend is like, well, I've never had a bad time yet, so I'm
Yeah.
along for the ride. What a beautiful thing to say about someone.
It really is. Like, I feel so well supported by Tot and everything that I do. And just knowing that she's always down for whatever, it really, certain people go from a friendship to family and really just like overall comfort and support. Certain people in your life just feel like home. And like Tatiana
Definitely.
is one of those people for me. And like the fact that, and so then, circling back on that, get home at midnight. I can't sleep because I'm alone in the house. I don't go to bed till 3 a.m. I set my alarm, I thought for 6, didn't go off. I woke up at 7:40. We got to get all the way to LA. And I called Tot and I hear her like getting it. She's like, are you coming to pick me up? I was like, oh my God, Tot, no, we're so late. I got to throw all my stuff in the car. She goes, no problem. I'm going to come. I'll pick you up. It'll be fine. We'll get there. No worries. And like instantly made it okay. And then you want to really believe. Now I'm calling her now, Charlie, 12 minutes later, like, please tell me you're in the car. She is. She's on her way. She's about to pull up to my house. And I know all I have to do is just get the crap, get in the car. And now it went from me inviting her to my thing to her now being like, I'll drive. She doesn't even like to drive. She's like, just get in the car. You do your makeup in the car and we're good to go. And she's just down for whatever. And like that, like I needed that in that moment or I would have unwound,
What is your
I know
profession?
Stay-at-home mom.
Because that sounds like something you need to, this is, what a gift. What a gift that you have that to give, and what a gift that you are that way.
Well, I think it's, we have to look at the other piece of the puzzle. Like, Gina well enough now to know that she's such a gift of a friend, that she's done a million and more things for me. Like we both moved here around the same time. We had no family. We had no friends. We're both super social. Like we were used to that family and that connection, and we didn't have it here. And we both like found each other at the right time. And she became like my rock.
So y'all met here, though.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go back to that.
Yeah, because people are really interested in this story of how I got on the show and the link to you, and
we've talked about you on here because
I feel very honored.
Yes. So where did you come from?
I am from New York as well, but not Long Island. I'm from Westchester County.
Okay.
Bougier.
So a little bougier.
Where Heather Dubrow is from.
Oh, yeah.
She's a fancy pants Tot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did y'all have that connection? Are y'all friends?
I don't know. I didn't know her before.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you moved here when?
Moved here 8 years ago. So Gina and I both lived in Kodo, and one of our mutual friends she was like, oh, you have to meet this girl. She's from New York, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not going to, just because she's from New York, I'm going to like her.
That is like when somebody knows a gay person and I'm like, yes.
Like, great.
We'll be friends.
This is great. So we had our first kind of like set up play date in a way. Like we met each other at a birthday party, and then we were like, oh, let's just do this play date.
Yeah.
She came over to my house and literally like we hung out every single day since then. Like
wow.
She's just like,
that's like love at first sight for friends.
Totally.
We really did. And it really was really cool to find somebody that felt comfortable, when you're probably going through that now.
I am.
Moving from like your home where you know everybody and everything, and then you're in this foreign world.
I am really going through it right now. So I love
tough.
hearing this and knowing, and also you feel a little obligated to, the only people we're meeting are people that are the parents of kids at school.
Right.
And so when you end up on sort of a parent date, that feeling of like, just because we have kids at the same school does not mean we're going to be friends.
Yeah.
But we've met some of the nicest people, and we have those moments where you get home and I'm like, okay, those are our people.
Yeah.
They're here.
Totally.
That's a very, it's a relief.
Yeah.
And so I think with you guys, it sounds like you had that exhale.
Definitely. It's hard. It's hard to move, especially across the country with little kids. It's so hard.
Are y'all's kids similar in age?
Mine are a little bit older,
overlap.
but there's one that kind of is.
But they're
more,
like cousins.
but they all get along.
Yeah, like my kids are so excited. Even Lex, who's Todd's daughter, who's 16, who's like, a far cry. My daughter is 9, but my daughter Sienna like idolizes Lex, really. And Lex is so kind to my children, like she considers them like her family, and like she knows that the kids look up to her, and she never disappoints.
No,
you know
she
what I
loves
mean?
it. Yeah.
Like she's so into it and she gets it, and she makes them feel special. And I think that's really cool, especially for a 16-year-old girl. They're all supposed to be assholes, at that age. And like Lexi is like not. She is just such a sweet girl.
Here's a question for y'all's friendship. Do you guys travel together?
Well, I try to get her to travel with me, but she's very busy with other things.
Yeah.
So actually,
we do like fun stuff
I went to
together.
her for the first time she was on Watch What Happens Live. I went to that with her, and that was so fun.
Wasn't it? I just got to do it too.
Oh my God, it was so fun.
You want to hear something funny about that? So this is my first time, going to Watch What Happens Live, and I'm not obviously like I'm not a bougie traveler. Like I fly economy. Like I'm a normal person.
Story, yeah.
And they're like, they when it's your job, they're like, okay, we're gonna fly you business class. I'm like, oh, this is so fancy. And then I found out though that you can trade in. There was an option where I could trade in my business class ticket for 2 economy tickets. So I did that so that and Tot could come with me. And then I was so excited about it, but it was just so hysterical, the irony of it, because I'm like, wow, I finally made it. And I went from like a business class seat to literally we were in the toilet.
Yeah,
we were the seat
last row. You couldn't recline.
They're like,
she's like, look at what I do for
like,
you.
You want 2 seats? Oh, we'll give you 2 seats.
Yeah. 2 seats.
It was hysterical, but we had the most fun ever. And I mean, we've just been, even if we don't travel together, like we always stay at each other's homes and stuff like
that's
that.
a thing,
but
for
we've
sure.
done a lot
Same.
of stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're always in each other's business, and
Yeah, like Gina's the friend that I'll just pop over.
Okay, that's how I gauge whether or not, like, I will know that I have friends that are true home for me, like you said.
Yeah.
Here, when there's somebody who I could stop by their house.
Yeah, I just exist. I go in there. I go in the refrigerator immediately, and I'm like or like I'll be like, why didn't you go shopping? Why do you only have healthy bars?
Oh yeah,
it's like your sister.
Come on,
she goes and hangs out with Kyle. If I'm not there, she hangs out with Kyle.
Kyle's my brother.
I know.
Yeah,
totally.
He really is. Like, and for a while when things weren't, phenomenal in my life, and I was lonely, and we lived so close to each other.
Y'all just did threesome.
Ew. Actually, what's so gross is even when I see Kyle and Tot like smooching,
it's like your sister
me.
watching your sister.
Yeah, like, ew, why is my sister kissing my brother? Like, that's
totally.
how I feel.
She can't handle. Like, we never talk about anything like
so
that.
Funny.
No, but actually, back to that, we did travel to Jamaica together.
Oh yeah,
and
that was so fun.
So Gina
that was a threesome.
So it was literally like it was me and Kyle, and then it was Gina and her friend Priscilla that she went to high school with, and Kyle thought he was the man the whole time because
I bet
we were at this resort for a week, and he's there with like 3 sister wives, and
so
we're
I'm
like,
assuming since he felt like so cool with all these 3 hot women, I'm assuming that was after Gina's got her hair fixed.
Actually, it was right in the middle of it. It was
okay, Kyle is
he's
my
a
people.
saint. Yeah, he's like, I'm just going to claim Tatiana and Priscilla. He's like, I don't know.
I
That
don't
third
believe
one,
that.
she just won't.
I always
just
tease
hanging
her
out.
about that. She was
I
beautiful
know.
then too. It's just
not as beautiful.
It's
Let's
not
be
as
honest.
beautiful.
It's all right.
You
You can call
talk
a spade
about
a spade,
a glow up though.
right?
I mean, and she owns
Seriously.
it. Right?
Yes. I am like so proud of her. And it just shows that what's inside of her is coming out now in such a great way, which I love.
Great thing to say.
She says those things to me all the time. I'm like, Barf, you're like my mom. She's so kind to me. And she believes this, Like,
I know she does.
It's so cool having somebody in your life that truly believes in you, that truly supports you. Like, look at the whole journey. Like, I am only on this show because of Tatiana.
Tell that story.
Well, I mean, it's
and it's okay to take credit.
Yeah. I mean, I always give it to you because it's true.
I mean, it honestly was one of those things. It's so funny because before any of this ever happened, the idea we had about the show was like, oh, it's a bunch of friends going out to lunch. Like, this is so fun. Like, they get to go shop and wear fancy outfits. And we didn't think it was like an actual job. Like, that you have to like get scheduled for and do and hang out with people that maybe not necessarily are your friends.
Right.
So in our mind, we're like, this is just a really fun, cool thing.
Yeah.
And so we started, I guess like I auditioned first, and then they asked me to write down some names of friends. So I wrote down like
how do you get to the audition process? How does that happen?
Well, she
Tamra.
knew Tamra.
So Tamra had like recommended me to the producers.
Because you knew her how?
Oh, okay.
Through like Eddie and Kyle, my husband, they would like work out together.
Gotcha.
So
At Cut Fitness.
At Cut Fitness.
Oh my God, this
Rest
is
in
real.
peace. Yeah.
But Kyle loved, I mean, it was a good gym. I have to give him credit for that for sure.
It is interesting that the friendship started between Kyle and Eddie. I should really give this credit to Kyle.
It's all Kyle.
So wait, okay, so they're friends. Then
Tamara and I became fast friends too.
Yes.
Like she was, she's somebody that I bonded with. And this was early on too when I had just moved here. So
Lord, I got to say before you even finish, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but whatever happens, I have to say, it probably worked out for the best that you didn't end up on the show as Tamara's friend from Cut Fitness, because Jen took the heat.
I am very happy to have laid away from
who
that.
would have ever known that was going to turn that way? But anyway, please continue. We can get there.
Poor Jen, but okay. So then I just started interviewing, and then they said, we want to bring on this dynamic duo. And Gina and I at that point this was in our prime drinking days.
Yeah.
Because I also stopped drinking as well before Gina, like for almost like 4 years. I haven't drank.
Yeah.
So, but Gina and I were raging and partying back in that day.
It was a great summer.
Oh, I wish I could have been there for that.
It was a lot of fun. So we just had like a lot to offer. You know what I mean? So she came on. We started interviewing together. They loved her. You know, my life is a little boring. I'm happily married.
No, but that was my life too at the time. You know what I mean?
I know, but they got lucky.
Yeah, they really hit the jackpot with me.
Oh my God.
Because I was selling the same story.
I would have been a one-season wonder. Like they would have been like, oh yeah, you're great. You're fun at lunch. And then they would be like, okay, but what's your storyline? And I'd be like, I don't know.
I like my husband.
I go to yoga. I love yoga.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. You just said they got lucky.
They really did.
They did.
Yeah.
So, and she needed it. Like she wasn't I didn't think this far at that point.
None of us did. That's the thing that I think is so wild about it is like, I didn't realize that I needed it. You know, like even where I was in my life, that's the one thing I was so guarded about everything to do with my relationship. Like Tot did not know anything that had happened in my marriage. Nothing.
Oh.
Not at that point.
She wouldn't have told me to keep doing it if, you know.
Right.
But for me, I was thinking
she's very private.
I'm past that. And this is like where I am now in my relationship. You know, I wasn't thinking I'm going to leave my relationship or anything like that. But it was just something that was fun and it made me feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
So
we're interviewing. So yeah, I mean, in retrospect, like she needed it. Like
so basically Tamara request, or what do you call it? Suggested or recommended. Sorry, you, and then you said, "Oh, and I have this really good friend," because they're actually looking for 2 people.
Yeah, so I put like 3 of my closest friends on this list.
Okay,
that was like part of like this 9-page application that you also had to fill out.
Gotcha.
That was part. So I did like a Skype interview, and then one of the producers ended up coming to my house and interviewing me and Gina together.
Okay.
And that was super fun.
Hysterical.
The whole thing was so fun.
Yeah.
Like the whole process of the whole thing was so fun. And then we went up to LA for a thing. And then
actually, that's funny because the LA. Okay, so we were having this great summer. So the LA, I woke up it was on I don't know what day it was, but I was hungover as hell. And I was like, Todd, I'm not going to LA. I don't do the city. I can't get in the car. I'm lucky I'm not going to puke right now. I'm not doing it. I'm staying in bed. She was like, I'm coming to get you. We're just going to go in the car and you're just going to sit in the car.
And then if you don't want to dress and let's go.
Here's your sequins. And I was like, okay.
What was it? What were y'all doing?
That was
like the
meeting.
next level.
Yeah, it was like there's like different levels that you go up, like
the rounds of the audition.
Yeah.
So that was like
so
the
you
third
got
round.
her there.
And I wouldn't even go in for like 20 minutes. I was like, Todd, I'm gonna vomit. I can't.
That's so funny. I can't remember that.
And you were like, let's just go in.
Oh, and then after that audition, so we had fun. We met like the whole production team there and whatever. And then we went to Sir. Remember after we went to Sir? And I'm like, you're going to want to remember us because we thought we were so cool.
She told like the
we're
bartender
be the next
or
best
something.
thing.
Yeah.
But wait, so were there when y'all get to this level, were y'all there with Tamara? Were y'all there with Vicky?
No,
were there other girls that were prospects?
Yes.
But maybe not like while we were there, you know, but I'm sure they were interviewing other women that day or whatever.
Okay.
But it was just a really cool experience. I had never even been really into LA period at that time. And I hadn't lived here that long. And I had never seen the inside of like a production company.
Yeah.
I don't think I could even tell you what a production I was sitting with all of these producers. I don't even know what they do.
Right.
I don't even know what a producer does. And they're just like, just be yourself and talk to these people. So I'm like, okay, I could do that.
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And it was just such a fun experience. And I don't know what it is. It's like, you never know what. I honestly think at the time, though, I think it was the New York factor and the Long Island thing. I think it was like I was very heavy New York. Westchester, New York's a little different,
Yeah.
And I think it was just right time, right place.
So when did you guys get sort of separated?
Well, okay, so this was the thing that I had to talk her off the ledge because there was a moment
I love
when
you're talking her off the ledge.
Okay, well, it was we had gone through so much together, and it was so fun, and it was so exciting, and the idea of it was so exciting that she got the offer, and then they told Matt, her ex-husband, she found out that he wasn't going to be allowed to film because of his job. So she calls me up. She's like, Tot, she's like, I think I'm out. She's like, I can't not film with a husband. And I was like, Gina, I'm like, we had gone through this for months now. And it's like emotionally talking about it. Think the idea of it, like being so excited about it. And I'm like, you're going to get on the phone with this production company and you're going to tell them I'm enough. I can do this. Like I'm a superstar. So it was, to me, I was so scared because I was like, oh my God, you're getting offered. Like, this is actually happening. Like, if you win, I win.
Leave your husband.
Yeah, I'm like, we win. Totally. I'm like, please. No, but
she momagered me hard.
But wait, okay, sorry. I got to back up because I know everyone listening to this is thinking the same thing. She calls you to say, I got an offer, but Matt has told me that he can't do it. Your first thought wasn't, wait, where's my offer?
Well, no, she had already known at that point.
Yes, I already had gotten released. So they call and they say, it's not going to be for this season, blah, blah, blah. Like, so I knew that it wasn't going to be me. So at this point, I'm just fighting for Gina. I'm like, you're going to do this for us.
I
We're gonna
hope
have so
every
much fun.
person is listening to this is receiving it because you are exceptional.
She is exceptional.
And you saw the good in all of it and knew that your very best and highest.
Yeah, that's why you didn't get
to not
casted.
be on that show.
Too good.
No, I just mean for
you gotta
her.
Be a little shitty. They were like, "We'll take Gina." You're not messy enough.
It's like you get taught, but with a little bit of grit.
Right. I'm a little messy, Todd.
No, but I mean for your life, whatever was next for you, whatever has been for you, the universe is always looking out for you, is always on your side. And I think it's so hard for us to see, me included, even today, before I walked in here, I got some news that really took me down. It's not something I can discuss right now, but I can't see where that's for my best and highest.
Right.
But I know it is.
Yeah.
And when you tell a story and thinking about you're the one who started this, and then you get a call that says you're not going forward, but that you're then jumping in to help your friend, completely selfless. That is the way it should be. I wish it wasn't such an exception. I wish that wasn't such exceptional behavior.
Right.
But I really hope people receive that and hear it, because that moment, that's something you could have taken a very different direction. And I mean, just the fact you guys stayed friends.
Best friends.
Yeah.
Because that really shows you who a person is, right?
Well,
But even good people.
Yeah.
Even
I don't know if I wouldn't have struggled with that.
I mean,
I didn't have. No, and I know that. Like, my thing is that I would expect that would be done for me as well. And I think that I maybe put that on people sometimes. And then when it doesn't get reciprocated, I'm a little bummed. Because I'm like, well, this is natural to me. Like, I don't know why we're not pumping everyone up. But Gina's, she's right there with me. She is.
Well, you both get the whole concept that shining your light on someone else does not dim yours. And that is a really hard concept for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially for people on these shows, honestly. I mean, I do feel like a lot of times it's such a, move out of my way. I want to be in the middle. I want to hold the orange.
Right. The center orange. Yeah, I get it. I just feel like it's such a natural relationship that we have, and that's how I approach all my relationships, where it's like, look, the the brighter my friends are shining, I get to claim that light.
Exactly.
You know, this is my friend. Like, look at my friend go. Like, look what my friend did. Look at this. My friend won fucking awards, like real legit, like Tonys and fucking, what are the Grammys? I mean, that is so me. And I get to say, that's my friend,
It's so
and
cool.
be proud of these people in my life. And that it really fills up my bucket. And I don't understand this whole, you're not in competition with your friends.
No, but you two are meant to be. I mean, it makes me emotional. It's amazing. I have friends like you guys. I mean, I have you two, but I mean, I have those friends where I'm just like, wow, you really get me.
Yeah.
And
it's so amazing and it's so special, and especially living so far from our childhood friends and our family,
and finding
to
that.
find each other is like, she's my girl soulmate.
Yeah. You're my twin flame. Isn't that a thing?
I
never
know.
heard that
That's a thing.
That's a thing.
I'm gonna keep asking what I think people would ask if they could, as a person who watches these shows, who's watched this process and have been fascinated, her telling me about this particular process with you involved. When they said it wouldn't be this season, does that mean in seasons that followed, you went back in?
No. So I think I probably could have, but I've always filmed with Gina. Like, it's always been like a fun thing that I do, like I'll be on a few episodes every season, and it's fun because I get to like sometimes wear the mic and I'm like, oh, I feel kind of cool, but I don't have to like put my life out there. And I actually realized that this is like what you were saying before, like everything happens for a reason. Like, sitting back and now realizing actually what this show is, I think Gina's amazing at it, and it's great for her and her life and all of that and her opportunity. It's not like exactly what would have been good for me.
Right.
So for me, I love like the fun of going and doing all the things, but do I want to have an orange? I don't think so.
No, it's not. Yeah,
Friend of, I think, would be great.
Yeah, I do always talk about
get
that.
her a little
I'm like,
title.
I'm like, I could do
she
the
is
friend
a really
of.
good friend of.
Yeah, like that's fun for me. But bringing my whole family into it and like my husband, like I wouldn't want to do that. But I like the little
She feels like it worked out the way it was supposed to.
Totally.
And it had to have.
Right.
Because that is, if we all just get on board, that's what's happening.
Right.
Is the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not we resist it is up to us.
Absolutely.
I actually got to do a TV show for a couple of seasons about songwriters on NBC called Songland a few years ago.
Cool.
And it was only 2 seasons, but it was so, I felt like before I got on there, actually they were looking for much more famous people. And there was a third chair. They had Ryan Tedder and Esther Dean, who are big songwriter and producers, and Ryan is the lead singer of One Republic. And there was a third chair, and I just knew I was going to be in that chair. And what happened was I was in talks, and then it went away, and they said, we're looking for someone else. And then I met with a producer in Nashville, and I said, and it was a friendly coffee.
Yeah.
I wasn't even in the conversation anymore. And I said, whatever happened to that show? Because I hadn't heard anything about it. And she said, well, they are still moving forward. That's actually why I'm here. I'm talking to people. And I don't know why this came out of me. I have never said anything like this in my life. I said, I'm going to be on that show. I know you can talk to everybody in this town, but I'm going to be on that show.
You manifested it.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks later,
cool.
she called and said, we have talked to everybody else. And
looks like it is you.
You're what we
yours.
got. But in that moment, it felt like I was in alignment with what the universe wanted from me.
That's really cool.
But the show went away after 2 years. And so trying to now see the good in the fact that after it went away, I was able to go on a trip around the world with my family.
Mm-hmm.
I also was able to open a Broadway show. These are all things I wouldn't have had time for, and I would have had to have chosen.
Yeah.
But it still feels like a loss to me. So that's why I'm so engaged in what you're saying.
Yeah.
And why it's really helping me, because I still sometimes just feel like, boy, that was so perfect for me. I don't know why that went away. I just really, even though it wasn't just about me, for my journey, I felt so in place there.
Yeah.
And so I think just trying to really stay in alignment with that there's a bigger picture, that I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And also, I want people to hear that, because I think a lot of times my life looks so charmed, and it is, and I really do have everything. But there are still things that when I get a little out of balance that I go, well, why not me?
Right.
You know? So that's why I just love this story.
Yeah.
Because you really handled this with such grace, and you not just handled it with grace, you glorified it.
It's honestly so, like, I always say, like, I got the better end of the stick because I get to do all the fun things with her, but I don't have to take any of the heat. Like, it's kind of like really nice, you know?
It's so true.
Yeah.
She Posi-Tati'd it.
Yeah.
She really did.
God, you did. I'm just trying to bask in the glow of that, you guys. You got, there's so much good energy here.
It really is. It could fill up a whole room.
Yes.
It does.
It could fill up a whole lot of land, a terra-mated flower garden.
Oh my God. Well, everyone's going to wonder what you're talking about. We just did an episode about terramation.
Episode.
Do you watch Housewives?
Oh yeah.
Do you watch more than OC?
Oh yeah, I watch Beverly Hills, Salt Lake City, and New Jersey.
Oh my God, me too.
Yeah.
And Salt Lake is just killing me.
Actually,
this
it's
season.
my favorite.
It's gotten so good.
I mean, so good.
After Orange County.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Of course. That goes without saying.
I'm just kidding.
But it has really come on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Mary Cosby.
I was afraid. You guys feel that? Because I want to just ask, because I have only watched the first season. And then, but I know what's going on. And so then with Jen Shah gone, I was like, oh, is there going to be anything left there? But people are loving it.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like it's much better this season than it was last season. I felt like last season they were really trying to kind of push some stories that you're just like, is that really happening?
And it gets very toxic.
I like the new one too. I think she's a good cast. The one that was
the younger one.
Yeah, the assistant.
I really like her too.
Jen or something.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting, right? I saw a clip of that she was like the Jen Shah's assistant or something.
She's actually really, she's got a lot of fire.
Yeah.
And she's
like
funny. But Mary Cosby, I mean, I don't know if she'll stay on the show. She's a friend
hysterical.
of. But oh my God, the way she will do nothing is so comical.
I mean,
they just say hi to her and she's like, don't say that to me. I don't want to talk.
I know. Yeah.
And there's a little part of me that's like, I wish I wasn't such a people pleaser. I just wish when I was eating my cupcake over by the pool and those people were like, come sit by me. And I could be like, I really don't want to.
Right.
I mean, I think she goes a little.
She doesn't give a shit.
She does
She's the complete opposite of you.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
You're like, everything's great.
Well,
she's
she doesn't
like,
do it
off.
with kindness at all. I mean, she's just like, and it seems silly, but it's so funny to watch.
So entertaining.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like at this point, they're like, okay.
Yeah, like, oh, there's Mary again.
Totally.
Mary's sitting on the bus.
Yeah.
While we're all partying.
Right.
Yeah.
Like she's getting a paycheck for this.
I laugh so hard at that show. I love it so
I do
much.
feel she's earning it though, because that shit is funny.
It is. Yeah.
It is funny how she's bringing something total. I've never seen on any of the franchises, any of the seasons, someone who just refused to participate and they're making a thing out of it.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, that's the thing. They just have to make a thing of whatever it is you're actually doing.
But I would think most of the time they would just be like, okay, well, that's not going to be in the show because she's not doing it. She's not doing anything.
Yeah.
But they're making a thing out of it because she's actually really funny when she's alone.
Yeah.
You know, and she's getting the fish sandwich and the chicken nuggets.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Wait, I saw that clip and I sent it to Clark because Clark's like one of our producers too. And I was like, Clark, oh my God, this shit, you can't make this shit up.
No.
Like,
she wants a fish sandwich and chicken nuggets and French fries. And she's this tiny little woman.
it's a surf and turf.
Oh my God, it is.
Yeah. She's fancy.
What is surf and turf?
It's
lobster
just fish and lobster. And lobster and
Lobster
Yeah.
and
steak.
steak.
So this
Lobster
is,
and steak.
oh,
The
so
sand,
this is
the
chicken.
land and the sea.
So
It's
this
the
is
McDonald's
chicken-ish
version.
and
It's
fish.
the McDonald's surf and turf.
Yeah.
So we have to go through that. I mean, since I actually have like somebody who really knows this stuff. I mean, how are you feeling about Kyle and Maurizio?
I know. So I mean, I honestly, I don't really know a lot what's going on, but that's really sad.
Shocking.
I mean, I really thought they were people. She's been on that show for so many years.
And
I
there's such
thought,
a vibe.
yeah. I mean, wow. Like really shocking. Very shocking.
I mean,
to
the
me.
good thing is, you know what? It's almost, it's very sad. You know, I don't want to, but it's almost a good thing for our particular industry because it's very clear that if they are going to separate and divorce, it has nothing to do with the show.
Because they've been together all these years.
And because it seems still amicable. There's obviously still love there between the two of them, and they're just parting ways because they're parting ways if that's what they decide. But it's also not obvious that it's obvious that it wasn't a thing of like one of them wanting this platform and then to get out of their marriage. No, the reality is sometimes marriages just end, you know, and the shows have a lot of stigma that they break up marriages. No, more than half of them just break up.
Yeah.
And I actually feel like that's it's done very well. They're doing it very well. You know, they're having respect for each other, especially in the limelight. They're not like, no, it's not getting nasty. There's no details. And it just truly seems like something that maybe is coming to the end of the road. And it is what it is.
It still makes me so sad because I look at them and I think they're like me and Kyle. You know what I mean? Like I think it's such a good,
sad.
like watching them, they seemed like such like just partners.
I know. I hope that works out. Just like you, I think there's something about it that just says, oh, I really hope they stick it out. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, here's another
maybe
question.
They just need a break.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, I certainly could use one.
A little time out every now and then.
Here's a question for you. So, because you watch New Jersey, are you Teresa or Melissa?
I mean, I have to be Melissa,
Thank
right?
you, God in heaven.
Mean,
hallelujah,
I don't know.
amen. Because I was going to wonder if we were going to make it.
I mean,
her husband's from Jersey too, so she can weigh in on this.
Yeah. But I mean, Melissa just seems like she's the best aunt. She's trying to be the best sister-in-law, like forever.
How about when people online are mean about her? When they're just
really
like,
nice
oh,
too.
Melissa's a liar. I'm just like, do you watch the show?
Right.
What are you doing? It's just like people have decided. It feels almost like, dare I say it? Well, is like Donald Trump. It's like, I am with this person, no matter what they say or do, you cannot convince me otherwise. I mean,
you know what Melissa's problem is? She's too hot. She's too hot.
Teresa's
she's too nice.
Jealous.
Yeah,
and
totally.
And
that's
people
where it's
just
coming
don't
from.
like.
Totally.
Yeah, it's hard
But it's
to.
mean.
Yeah,
it's so mean.
You know what? Melissa needs 1 year with like bad tracks, and everybody would love her.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like
well, she
she's
didn't start out looking like she does now.
No, but nobody does.
No,
but
that's very true.
She's had a pretty strong trajectory upwards, and she started out as a beautiful woman, you know, and it only got better.
I know,
and she only gets like more abs and more. I mean, she looks phenomenal. But I think it's very hard for people to like people who are so naturally perfect,
and that's sad. That's really sad.
I think that. I mean, you would love her no matter what. Because actually, you'd love her more for it. Just that she is taking care of herself.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to do Watch What Happens Live, I was in the elevator with this woman who I had recognized that she had been on the show, or just I'd seen her in something. Maybe I'd seen her on the show, and she was a makeup person.
Yeah,
and somehow she does makeup for Jersey or something, and I don't even remember how we got that information.
It's probably Priscilla.
Maybe is she like a main one? She's
brunette.
Yeah,
she looks fierce.
Yes,
she's that's Priscilla.
Okay, well then
Priscilla's great.
I might be in trouble when I say this.
Oh,
because I said what I just said to you, which was okay, Melissa or Teresa.
Yeah,
and she goes, Teresa, always Teresa. And I was just like, I gotta get off this elevator.
You're like, I asked the wrong person. I don't know. It's too tense.
No.
I was like, I can't be in here.
It's like talking about politics.
It is. It totally is. Yeah.
At least Teresa can know that Priscilla's loyal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was her. She's very hot. Very fierce.
And very pro Teresa.
I do feel bad for Teresa. I think that she's dealt with a lot.
Totally.
I mean, she went to prison. Like,
Yeah.
I
And
give
she's
her credit.
entertaining.
And I'll be
very
I just wish she
honest.
wasn't mean.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll be honest. I've met Teresa in person too, and she is very nice.
People really like her when they
She's
meet her.
she's really nice. It's different too when you're on the show. There are things that that is a different beast, and that's her bread and butter, and that's also her family. There's so much family relationships too. Maybe shouldn't be broadcast to the world, because how you interact with your family sometimes is also very different than how you treat everybody else, you know? And I don't think that Teresa is out there treating everybody.
No.
You know what I mean? She's been really cool to me when I met her.
Yeah.
So yeah. But
Well,
I don't know.
I'm not going to be approaching her at BravoCon.
I understand that.
Only because of course she's listening to this every week.
Totally.
Yeah.
You don't want her flipping a table over on you.
No. But I have enjoyed so much watching her all these years.
I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah,
Love
it's
us or
very
hate us,
entertaining.
we're
So
entertaining
Yeah.
everybody, right? And so it's like, even if you don't love that character or that housewife or whatever, you still love that character and that housewife. You know, the
Totally.
show would be nothing without the Teresas.
Yeah.
And the Melissas. You
That's
know,
right.
all of them.
Yeah.
You know, we all, like, everybody serves a purpose and everybody deserves their seat at the table. And you can weigh in on it and you could love her and you can hate her and she's here for it and she keeps showing up for everybody. And like, that's what we do, you know, like you can peek into our life, you can judge us, you can say what you want, and we keep showing up, you know? And I mean, there's something to be said
That's
about
brave.
that, right?
Yeah.
We endure.
So I have to just mention,
Yes.
because I don't know when this will actually be out into the world, but I haven't talked to you. And when you walked in today, we just jumped right into it.
Mm-hmm.
Your reunion look.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
I didn't wear pants to the reunion this year.
I felt so
No pants.
proud.
I know.
my
When
God,
those
thank
pictures
you.
came up on
I
Instagram, I was
know.
like, she did it.
I know.
Like, I just felt like, I know it's not a contest, but if it was, you won.
Totally.
I'll take that. I will. I
Totally.
felt great that day. I felt beautiful. I have to give it up to my glam team as always.
They killed
Melissa
it.
keeps me looking amazing always. And she is very close to my heart. And, you know, pulling it all together is hard and it is a long day and it is, it's tough, you know? So it's like, I thank you for saying that, because sometimes I lose sight of like the fun side of it and all that, because it is I don't even watch it because I can't. I don't think I can. I just can't. But
Well,
thank you.
let me just give you some of the backstory of when Gina, like, if I was going to be on all these different things and have to film all these different things, I would stress out about every single outfit. And she just she does it so naturally and doesn't ever seem to be stressed out like about any of it. That like even a big deal
I
like
love
the
it.
reunion, she's like, I don't know what I'm going to wear. I'm like, what are you wearing? It's like 2 days from now. And she's like, I don't know yet. It's either this one or this one. Like I have to see what it's going to be.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't be able to sleep. Like I would be such a stress case. And she just handles it like she's been doing this all her life. Like
Yeah.
it's so cool.
It's just fun part.
It is
Yeah.
you make it fun too.
It is
Yeah, you
fun.
do.
And you remember
I
the
love
fun.
it. I love styling things. And
Yeah.
I like it in more recent years where there was a certain point where it came to a head where I think I was just trying to like fill that box for a while, because they don't really know like the production and the network, and they want you to like look like a housewife, but like I'm not even really a housewife, honestly. It's like I don't look like one, and that's not my personality, that's not who I am. And I think there was a certain point where I said, you know what, I'm not going to try to fit in that box anymore to make it easier for you. Now I'm just going to really be myself, and that's where it became fun for
That's
me.
what's
Yeah.
showing too. People
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
are
definitely.
responding to that.
And I don't really care, I don't care if people don't like it or not. If I feel good and comfortable and beautiful and like myself, then that's good enough for me, But it's nice when people respond positively to like who I actually am.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to sit here with Tatiana because
I
she makes me
know,
feel so
right?
good.
She's the best. Thank you so much for coming on.
Aw,
Todd.
I'm so excited. This was so fun, guys.
I
And you
loved
guys are the
having you.
best dynamic duo. I love it.
Oh,
I love
well,
it.
I appreciate you saying that because that really means a lot coming from the actual other member of the dynamic
Yes.
duo. So that's a really, really big compliment. And honestly, I can't say enough. Thank you for
Aw,
doing this.
thank you.
Just being around you has made me better. And I look forward to you doing it again.
And now
Thank
we
you
get to
so
share you
much.
with everybody who listens.
And she's
so.
a friend of Orange Country too.
She really is. You are a friend of Orange Country.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're a
For
friend
sure.
of period.
That's right. That's right. Thank
I
you.
love you.
Thanks, guys.
Mwah.
Mwah.